So here's something we're going to watch: the 15 scary natural phenomena in the world. So, 15 scary things in the world, I guess. There's a lot of scary things in the world. But the natural ones are the ones that we don't understand. We're not trying to understand, and we don't know if those things are going to come after us, sooner or later. But anyway, let's just see what's the 15 scary natural phenomenon in the world.
It's a mad, mad world out there, and just like any parent, Mother Nature has some harsh lessons to teach us. Yep, it's hard to know exactly what's around the corner, but you can be sure of one thing: anything could happen when it comes to nature. From destructive fire tornadoes to a lake that's home to a series of never-ending lightning storms, these are 15 scary natural phenomena in the world. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to The Supreme, and click the notification bell for more lit content. Let's get rolling. Number 15. Bubble of lava. Bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. This absolutely astounding image of a lava dome fountain was posted to Twitter by the U.S. Geological Survey as a Throwback Thursday pic. Now, that's what we call an epic throwback. This spectacular scene shows a bright red dome of lava that is erupting into the air off the coast of Hawaii. It's amazing, right? This unbelievable event took place on October the 11th, 1969, when the famous Kilauea volcano erupted, causing a 65-foot lava bubble to spit fiery liquid into the sky. What makes it more amazing is that symmetrical dome fountains like this one are actually super rare. The legendary Mauna Ulu eruption lasted for a staggering 1,774 days.
That's crazy. You see that perfect orb sitting like in the ocean there? That's kind of crazy. Wow.
And has been described as the longest lasting and most voluminous eruption on Kilauea's eastern side in at least 2,200 years. Whoa! A whopping 350 million cubic meters of lava was produced during this period. That's a whole lot of lava. Floor is lava, sea is lava, in fact everything is lava. These rare lava fountains occur when gas bubbles rapidly form and expand in molten rock, causing powerful jets of lava to spray out, forming a dome-shaped bubble. They can even reach out as far as 1,600 feet tall, which is taller than the world-famous Empire State Building. We don't know about you, but we're more than happy to watch a lava fountain from the comfort of our own home and not from up close. Number 14, ice tsunami. Brr. Is it just us, or is it getting cold out there? Perhaps it's an ice tsunami. This rare weather event is also known as an ivu, or an ice shove, and they occur very rarely under perfect conditions. When high winds of up to 120 kilometers an hour hit northern New York State, a tidal wave of frozen ice blasted lakefront houses, sealing them behind glacial walls reaching a whopping 30 feet high. The authorities even issued a voluntary evacuation notice, fearing the worst. Strong gusts of wind caused blocks of ice that had formed on the lake to rush towards the shoreline, resulting in power cuts that impacted hundreds of thousands of people. That's the true power of an ice tsunami. Lake Erie, which borders the US and Canada, took a...
Isn't that crazy how Mother Nature do this stuff and things just move? You don't see anybody pushing it, you don't see anybody pulling it, it just moves. Mother Nature does some crazy stuff.
Particularly devastating blow from an ice tsunami in 2019, and while the footage may look like a winter wonderland, it actually caused some serious damage. Now, these epic ice shoves only occur when three very specific conditions are in place. Firstly, they are most likely to happen during the spring, when ice on the lake starts to thaw. Next, extremely high winds are needed to push the ice along the surface, causing a traffic jam of ice. And finally, the third condition is a sloping shoreline, which causes less resistance and a severe pileup of ice. Next thing you know, your beautiful lake house looks like an Arctic cabin. Welcome to the Ice Age. Number 13, tornado water sprouts. We're gonna need a bigger boat. These terrifying tornadoes form over water when warm, moist air meets an unstable atmosphere, and they're scarily common. These seaside twisters are more common near the Florida Keys in the United States, the Gulf of Mexico, and other tropical regions, usually occurring in late spring and summer. Yep, this crazy weather phenomenon really loves the heat. They're more like
You know, you see all these crazy weather phenomenons out on the ocean and stuff. And I'm from an island and I ain't never seen nothing like that. I've never seen anything like this. This is just strange.
to appear after 2 p.m. in the afternoon, which means you probably don't want to be out on your boat in the early evening on warm days in these tornado-prone areas. The Florida Keys see as many as 400 to 500 water sprouts a year. And while that may sound like a lot, water sprouts are actually weaker than your regular tornado and usually don't last too long either. Whew, well that's a relief. Number 12, Fire Whirl. From swirling water tornadoes to twirling fire whirls, these scary natural phenomena can be utterly catastrophic, and while they start off small, they can grow rapidly in size, destroying everything in its path and eventually evolving into a full-blown fire tornado.
Damn.
Rising hot air and turbulent wind conditions causes a vortex that takes the shape of a spinning column, reaching temperatures of 1090 degrees Celsius, heights of over 1 kilometer tall, and wind speeds of over 200 kilometers an hour. In fact, these ferocious funnels are so destructive that in 1923, fire whirls were responsible for nearly 40,000 deaths in Tokyo after the Great Kanto earthquake hit the city. They have also been responsible for huge devastation.
You see what they said? That those guys, their hose got sucked into that fire tornado looking thing. Wow. It got sucked into that. That's wind and fire and stuff raging there. Not rain and water.
During forest fires and other natural disasters. Yep, the fire whirl is most definitely one of the most fearsome phenomena in the natural world, and we can only hope that we never spy one in real life. Number 11, Blood Waterfall. Okay, so you've seen Niagara Falls and maybe even ticked off a few other natural wonders from your bucket list, but how about an extremely weird tourist attraction that's like nothing you've ever seen before? We're talking about the legendary Blood Falls in Antarctica. Flowing from the McMurdo Dry Valleys, these blood-red falls cascade from the Taylor Glacier, and for a long time, scientists had no idea why this waterfall flowed such an alarming crimson-red color. At first, experts thought that the red algae blooms were behind the Scarlet Falls, but it soon became apparent that there was more to this natural wonder than met the eye. You see, underneath the surface of the Taylor Glacier, there's a complex network of subglacial rivers and subglacial lake, filled with a strange brine that contains an extraordinarily high level of iron. Trapped beneath the ice, this brine never gets any oxygen, except when the salty water trickles out of fissures in the ice, causing the waterfall effect outside. When the iron water finally comes into contact with the air outside, it immediately rusts, creating the blood-red liquid that flows from the fall. Now, before you book your tickets, it might be worth noting that unfortunately, this epic blood waterfall can only be reached by helicopter from Antarctic research stations. Failing that, you could try your luck on a cruise ship visiting the Ross Sea. Number 10, Jellyfish Lake. If you're scared of venomous jellyfish, then this lake might just be your worst nightmare. This iconic and aptly named Jellyfish Lake is located on an ominous uninhabited island off the coast of Koror in Palau. Once upon a time, this saltwater lake was one of 70 pools connected to the South Pacific Ocean, but now it's totally cut off, nestled in an archipelago that separates it from any natural marine predators. Yep, this mysterious lake is now in its own little safe haven.
Wow.
The end of the Ice Age saw rising sea levels seal off the island over 12,000 years ago. With plenty of algae to feast on and no pesky sharks or turtles trying to eat them, the jellyfish thrived and multiplied in the 98-foot deep lake. Yep, life was dreamy for a long time, and these blessed jellyfish could even be seen swimming from the west side to the east side of the lake to follow the path of the sun. What more could a jellyfish want? Their population hit an absolutely insane peak of 30 million in 2005 before declining over the years due to the environmental issues. In 2019, there were only 630,000 golden jellyfish in the lake, and while that is still more jellyfish than we like to see in one place at one time, that's still a very steep decline in population. Experts at the Coral Reef Research Foundation found that the lake had the highest sunscreen compound concentrations among lakes and lagoon sites in the area back in 2017. And even sand from tourist shoes or debris in their pockets could cause a massive ecological disturbance in this delicate, ancient ecosystem. The elders on the island have decided to stop letting people swim there for now, but who knows what the future holds.
Wow.
Number 9. Frozen methane. Silent but deadly, these bubbles of frozen methane lurk beneath the ice on Alberta's Lake Abraham. There's no doubt that they are beautiful, but they're actually extremely dangerous. These sinister bubbles are actually pockets of methane, a highly flammable gas that could combust from one single flame. Yikes! Now, we've all heard of methane being produced from animals such as cows, but who knew that this toxic gas was sitting there all this time, perfectly preserved in ice? But the real question is, how on earth did it get there?
I'm gonna tell you, man, with the ice melting and stuff, all kinds of craziness gonna come out of that. Diseases we've never seen before. And I mean, this is just common sense. If you change the atmosphere, you change the environment, something's gonna come and something's gonna go, and certain things are gonna survive, and some things will not survive. But it's kind of crazy to think the kind of things that we're going to discover. Man, that's kind of scary to think about it, you know? As all that stuff melting, we're going to discover more about ourselves. What are we going to find out? It's kind of interesting, but also the melting is just changing the world as we know it, man.
Methane bubbles are produced when dead organic matter sinks to the bottom of the lake, where hungry bacteria wait below, ready to gobble it all up. The bacteria then poops out methane in the form of waste, turning into bubbles you can see when it comes into contact with frozen water. That slowly melting permafrost is now thawing out these dangerous methane bubbles and releasing the gas into the atmosphere, which could have disastrous consequences on our environment. And this isn't just happening in Canada. Scientists have noticed this happening in Siberia too. Hopefully, we've spotted this freaky phenomena just in time. Number 8. Seafoam invasion. Nope, it's not the world's largest foam party, but the ancient fisherman's village of Tossa de Mar found itself the center of global attention when its cobbled streets filled with gross, scummy sea foam. But sometimes, this foam can be pretty harmful. For example, algal blooms can contain neurotoxins that can be dangerous to breathe in or get in your eyes. Some sea foam has even been known to disrupt birds' ability to waterproof their wings, preventing them from flying, with lethal consequences. Fortunately, it seems that the town of Tossa de Mar had a lucky escape, as the foam was tested and declared harmless. Still, we bet a trip to the grocery store was still a nightmare. Number 7. Venezuela's Eternal Storm. It might sound like something straight out of a gothic horror movie, but this moody atmospheric phenomenon is totally real. May we introduce you to the everlasting storm? Dramatic, right? In the country of Venezuela, long-lasting and incredibly frequent thunderstorms occur right over the mouth of the Catatumbo River as it empties into Lake Maracaibo. But how often are we talking here? And is it really everlasting? Well, not quite, but nearly. Lightning occurs 140 to 160 nights a year, 10 hours per day, and up to 280 times per hour. Lake Maracaibo is even in the Guinness Book of World Records for highest concentration of lightning, with 250 lightning flashes per square kilometer each year. It's not totally clear why this body of water is such an unstoppable thunder magnet, but scientists have considered everything from uranium deposits in the bedrock to the abundance of methane from oil fields below. Either way, this natural phenomenon is awesome. Yep, lightning really does strike twice.
When I was living back on the island, I love watching them storms come off the ocean, man. You're sitting there and you're just watching darkness coming in at you, but not darkness, depression darkness or anything. It's just this beautiful gray, silver, black. It's beautiful, man. I don't know why people think that overcast skies and stuff is not beautiful. It's beautiful, I'm telling you.
Number 6. Deadly Brinacle. Nothing strikes fear into the heart of deep-sea explorers quite like the icy finger of death, otherwise known as an ice brinacle. So, what in Poseidon's name is a deadly brinacle? Well, basically, when salty water leaks from icebergs on the sea's surface, it sinks down into the deep, occasionally forming a creepy finger-shaped brinacle of ice.
Wow.
The salty sea brine is so cold that the water freezes immediately, resulting in the eerie natural phenomenon you see before you. But before you get too freaked out, it might be worth remembering that these briny ice compartments could have actually been the source of all life. Yep, the little single-cell organisms that evolved into fish, that evolved into creatures that could walk on land, well, you get it. Life on Earth could have started right here. Inside the ice, there's a high concentration of chemical compounds and fats that coat the inside of the compartment that can act as a primitive membrane.
That is cool.
Pretty amazing stuff, right? Who knew a frozen finger in the sea could have been the beginning of mankind? Number 5. Square waves. Okay, we bet that you've never seen this scary natural phenomena. We're talking about square waves. Yeah, you heard that right. These ocean grids occur out at sea and closer to the coast, and they are extremely dangerous. In fact, they can be even more powerful and deadly than riptides. This rare event happens when wind from two separate weather systems meets an intersection, which makes the waves struggle against each other in opposite directions. The result is a rather incredible natural spectacle, kind of like a marine chessboard. Although you might want to think twice before you make a move. These currents are even a danger to boats and big ships that can capsize in the unpredictable tides created by square waves. These waves can nearly reach 10 feet tall and occur anywhere as long as the conditions are right. One spot that seems to attract these scary square waves is the Isle of Rhe in France, where tourists gather to check them out from a safe distance. Number 4. The Darvaza Crater. Located in Derweze, Turkmenistan, this poisonous well of gas was first discovered by Soviet engineers back in the 1970s, and scientists immediately warned of the dangers that this newly excavated hole could pose to the people living in the area. It was decided that the crater, which is one of the largest gas reserves in the entire world, would be set alight so that the gases could burn off quicker. However, instead of taking a few weeks to fizzle out, the door to hell is still raging with fire 50 years later.
Wow.
The deadly inferno has a diameter of 230 feet and reaches down approximately 66 feet deep, where the mud boils and bubbles beneath the angry flames. You'd think that people would stay well clear of this literal hellhole, but oh no. The Turkmenistan authorities hope that this scary natural phenomena will become a tourist attraction that draws visitors to the area, and there are no kind of restrictions or barriers to stop people from peering right over into the edge of this dangerous crater. Would you ever take a trip to the gates of hell?
I don't know.
Number 3, avalanche. Watch your back, guys. An avalanche is a sudden downhill movement of snow, dead set on destroying anything in its path. Yup, these things are insanely powerful, and sometimes they can wipe out whole mountains and even entire villages. If you end up caught in an avalanche, the worst case scenario is being completely buried under snow, where you will surely perish from lack of oxygen rather than the cold. Skiing is definitely a thrill seeker's time, and as any extreme winter sports fan will tell you, avalanches are a constant concern when planning a day out on the slopes. They can prove perilous to skiers and snowboarders, and most resorts will do everything they can to manage and prevent these calamitous occurrences. Yet, experienced snow bunnies will know all about it. An avalanche can really ruin a nice day of skiing. Have you ever seen an avalanche in real life?
No.
Number 2. Landslides. From avalanches made of snow to landslides made of, well, land. A landslide is defined as the movement of a mass of rocks, debris, or earth traveling down a slope. They're often catastrophic and can destroy houses, vehicles, and destabilize entire communities. They can be caused by heavy rainfall, where the rain greases up loose rocks and soil before slipping down completely. Erosion can also cause massive disturbances on steep slopes, and even certain types of soft rocks, such as mudstone, can trigger a devastating landslide. We hope we never get caught up in one of these forces of nature. Number 1. Giant hail. Some people love the snow, and some people even love the rain, but nobody loves hail. Giant hailstones are caused when huge storms with serious updrafts keep the hailstones in the air long enough to build up layers and layers of frozen water before falling back down to earth with a bang. Did you know that a hailstone the size of a quarter can cause a dent in the roof of a car? These things are powerful. The biggest hailstone ever recorded was a mind-blowing 8 inches in circumference. This beastly hailstone was found in 2010 in Vivian, South Dakota, after a severe supercell storm. We hope that their car was parked safely in a garage during the hailstorm. The heaviest hailstone ever recorded was discovered in the Gopalganj district of Bangladesh in 1986, weighing in at a whopping 1 kilogram. You'd need an umbrella made of steel to weather that storm. Whoa, what a wonderful, if slightly horrifying, world we live in.
I tell you, man, Mother Nature is something else. This world just does its own thing, and there's nothing we can do about it. Nothing. You hear all these conspiracy theories where, oh, they could make rain and they could make storms and they could make earthquakes and they could. I guess to a certain degree, it could start an earthquake by, start blowing up something close at hand and will cause it. You could probably start an avalanche by blowing up something up in the mountains and starting an avalanche, I guess. But when that stuff decides to happen naturally, there's nothing you could do about it. Did you see that one clip where that whole mountain is coming down? That's crazy. There's just so much out there that we don't know. Instead of that, hell, we don't even know each other. We gotta start getting to know each other, man. You know, all the different cultures and stuff. So then we could study all this stuff and figure out some stuff. You know what I mean? I know I'm sounding kind of stupid right now, saying stuff and stuff and stuff, but come on, people. It's still kind of some beautiful things, though, to watch. Dangerous, but beautiful. Well, anyway, I ain't gonna babble on too much. Not gonna keep you guys here. I am gonna leave the link down in the description to this video so you can go check it out yourself. Or check out that channel if you so need or so want. And also go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification button so you know when I'm sending out videos and stuff to you. Alright, people? Make life cool runnings, alright?